The mill, whether it's this mill or any mill, and the railroads and all of these pieces of the infrastructure were not just, an outside part of their life. It was a daily part of their life. You lived around it, you understood it. The stories about hanging washout and knowing when to bring it in. If the wind shifted, if there was a slip on the furnace, if a siren sounded, you knew to bring that laundry in. Simple kind of fun, folksy things like that existed, but there's also the larger impact of that. That folks were living in a region that is a valley where the pollution can be socked in. The incidence here of, even now, high rates of asthma, high rates of, pulmonary disease in general are very, consistent with the rate of industry. So you're living with it on every facet of life. So it's the fun stuff, like when I was a kid, I'd come out in the morning and everything would sparkle. And as a kid, it's amazing and wonderful and magical in a lot of ways. But when you think about what it is, that it's this graphite that's being created as part of, the iron and steel industry, and that you're breathing this in all day long, and it's getting into our, into the groundwater and into the water table, that it's choking out nature, that's a problem. And so what was true 100 years ago is still issue these days. But we've come a long way. I don't want to, be totally negative with that. When I was a kid, there were still heavy pollution index days. The rivers were dead. It was a decaying region. Nothing was green the way it is now. But nature's strong, and nature will help clean, and nature is coming back, and our rivers are, not perfect, but they're healthy rivers. Our air quality is still not where it should be, but it's much healthier than it was. So all of those things, it's a positive move. But it's a hard climate to grow up in. And it creates, in many ways, for people that grew up in these communities, a sense of being trapped by it. That you needed to be there to survive, to make a living, but you couldn't physically survive within it. So it's difficult.